my beautiful Bitterroots, welcome to my channel, and today I have my project Disney Princess Roulette, I can't talk, to be read edition. So my goal is to update, every time I finish through half of the 7 books I chose. And so I've read 5 this time around, and we're supposed to be updating the 10th of every month, but I'm a little early, so let's just go through my whole list, how I ordered and if I finished them or not. So the first one I drew was Aurora, and I had a choice between bright pink or gray, and I chose gray, and that was with my book Asylum by Madeline Rowe. Finished that. Then I chose number 6, which is Elsa, and the colors are ice blue or black, and I chose black. And that was You Gotta Keep Dancing by Tim Hansel. I finished that. Then I chose number 9, which is Moana, and the colors are coral or tan, and I chose coral. And that was A New Day Rising by Lorraine Snelling. I did finish that. Then we have, my next number I picked was number 10, which is Mulan, and it was green or blue, and I chose green. And the book was With You Always by Jody Hudland, and I will insert clip here of my review. Hello my beautiful Bitterroots, welcome to my channel, and today I have a book review for you guys. I am doing the Disney Princess To Be Read edition, and this is one of my picks for to read. And I wanted to review this book as I finish reading, so that way I don't forget, because I tend to forget stuff. Thank you, multiple sclerosis. With that said, sorry for the outdoor noise. I'm working in the gallery today. The door is open, and if there's any weird crunching noises, BC, the resident black cat, BC black cat, decided to pay a visit today. So he's down there chomping on his lunch or dinner. I don't know what it is. He just came in hungry, and so I feed him, and he's down there crunching away. So ignore that if possible. So I also wanted to plug another book in here. I plugged a couple books in my last little video, and this one I want to have you guys read. If you guys love Christian fiction and stuff, definitely read Forever Safe by Jody Hudland. This is her 4th book in the Beacons of Hope quad. How would you call that? How would you say that? It's a book series of 4. 5. I lied. It's a quince. It's a quince. So there's 5 in the series. So book number 4 is Forever Safe, and Jody Hudland. I've been pre-reading for her for a while now. I've read all of her books except for one, and in this book she named a character Zelma, which totally ripped out my heart. I mean, it was just made me cry. The character was just so awesome. So that was definitely a happy moment in my life to open a book and actually read Zelma. I had to reread it a few times just to make sure I was reading it correctly. So with that said, let's go into With You Always. So this is Jody Hudland's newest book, and this is the first one in her Orphan Train series, and this is really good. I really enjoyed it. So I'm only allowed to give you spoilers for the first 3 chapters. Sorry guys, but if you guys want to read more, you're gonna have to pick up this book. So I'll just kind of give you the synopsis of the book on the back. It says, one of the many immigrants struggling to survive in 1850s New York, Elise Newman knows she must take action to care for her younger sisters. She finds a glimmer of hope when the New York Children's Aid Society starts sending skilled workers. So basically, the New York Children's Aid Society is looking for skilled workers in other towns. So out west. So she decides to go out there and work. You know, she wants to provide for her sisters and stuff. So anyway, Elise gets a job working at a seamstress, but it's not all as it seems. I mean, the girls in there are big bullies. They're bumping her, making her stab a needle into herself. They're hiding her stuff. They're just being awful to her. She's such a spunky character that she's ready to literally fight them if needed. And then you have Thornton, and Thornton has a twin brother, and on the father's deathbed, he says, I want you guys to go out along the railroad, pick a town, and make it prosperous. So, and to top it off, he wants the brothers to marry for love, to find somebody they love and marry them. If they accomplish this, they inherit the father's enterprise. And then the second child, the other brother, would end up being vice president of the enterprise. So Thornton's brother, you know, takes this as a challenge, and he's willing just to go out and marry anybody, but, you know, there are rules. You have to marry for love. And Thornton has always been in his brother's shadow. He's always wanted to please his dad, but never been able to do that because of his twin brother. So this is possibly Thornton's chance to step out of his brother's shadow, do what he needs to do in a town where his brother isn't at in it. So in the meantime, Elise is out walking the streets. She's on a mission. She needs to go buy thread, and the whole town erupts, and there's like a stampede of children, and she's just about knocked off her feet, and Thornton swoops in and saves her. And because there are gangs, and the gangs are rioting, and they're fighting, and there's bullet holes inside the buildings. I mean, it's pretty crazy in New York at the time. So Thornton rescues her and starts dragging her to safety, whether she wanted to go or not. And on the way to safety, you know, Elise decides to save a blind beggar. And this really opens up Thornton's eyes to the kind of woman Elise is. Elise's dad was a baker, and she always dreamed of opening up a bakery again. And, you know, that's her passion, her love. So in this, will she be able to open up that bakery? Will Thornton find his love, and will he make a small town prosperous in the meantime to get his father's fortune, you know, basically? And is money all that important? That's another thing in the book. It's not necessarily important. Having a good heart is what's truly important, and Elise shows Thornton that that is what true value is, where she has literally nothing, but she's willing to step out and help somebody who is in a lesser position than she is. So if you guys are interested in this book, definitely check out Jody Headland's With You Always. I will leave you with this review. I highly recommend it. 5 stars. And thank you guys for listening. This is finished, so I'll be able to put that aside and pick a new book now. Then I picked number 12, which is Rapunzel, and the colors are purple or lavender, and I chose purple, which is A Greater Glory by James Scott Bell. I started reading it, but then never finished. I'm on chapter 3 right now. So I started reading it, but I just got interested in other books. So this kind of got put on the wayside, but I will get back to reading it soon. Tiana, and the colors were pale green or cream, and I chose cream, and it was Secret of Pembroke Park by Julie Klassen, and I finished that one. Then I picked number 7, which is Jasmine, and the colors were turquoise or gold, and I chose gold. For this book called The Bait of Satan. This is a great book about learning how to not let other people offend you, and how to let go of your offenses and, you know, make your apologize and move on with your life. we all need to get on with our life. So this is a great book. If you're looking for a great Bible study to do, this is fantastic. Or if you're looking to just do it on your own, I did a Bible study. I read it on my own a second time, and then I just did a third time. I'm actually going to declutter this out of my book collection. If you guys, my book declutter will be coming up soon, and this is one of those that will be decluttered out of my collection. I figured I read it 3 times. Let's just pass it on to somebody else. So that one is done. Then I picked number 14, which is Tiana again, and the colors were pale green and cream, and since I already used cream, I chose pale green instead, which is Hidden Figures. Where are you at? This one is what our book club decided to do. This is a library book. I used green for this. This was a wonderful book, and I really loved it, and it started out, you know, with talking about her research on these women, and she's still continuously doing research on these women and just the things that they have done to just really proves that it doesn't matter the color of your skin, we're all the same inside. And these women are phenomenal, and the things that they were able to do for the NASA program is beyond me. Loved it. Now I can actually go watch the movie, but hopefully the movie is kind of close to the book, because I tend to watch movies and be like, that's not what happened in the book, and so and so should be taller, and I'm that type of person. Normally I have to watch the movie first, but I read the book first, so hopefully my husband doesn't kill me when I'm yelling at the TV. And then I picked number 12, which is Rapunzel, which is purple or lavender, and this time I chose lavender. Discover your kids' spiritual gifts. Now, this one was very good. This one I'm decluttering out of my bookshelf also. But one thing that I really loved is it goes through category that whatever category your child's gift can be, it's all listed in this book. Not only is it listed in this book, but it also goes into in depth. And it was nice to go in here and be like, yeah, that is so my son, or yes, that's so my daughter. And then reading through here, and I'm like, wow, I have those qualities. And, you know, there's some great qualities. Discernment is a great one. Healing and giving, and it goes on about, you know, all your good gifts, you know, teaching and leadership, and helps, like if you're such a helping and giving person, you know, service, you know, it goes through all of these. And so if you want to learn about the special gifts that your child has, read this book. It is a great book. Then I chose number 5, which was Cinderella. I chose light blue, and that one was Hearts Stolen. So that was by Carol Candu, and this book was really great. What this woman was captured by Comanches, and she was forced to be one of the Braves' 3rd wife. And she was pregnant at the time with her husband's child, and so she was forced to live in a lifestyle that she didn't want to live for 5 years, and her son grew up thinking he was a Comanche. And some Texas Rangers come and rescue her, trade her for a horse and some other things. And it's a really good book about, you know, even though she was forced to live a lifestyle that she didn't want, and some other women were forced that way also, ended up getting pregnant, and back then there was a lot of prejudices going on, and so this was a good book about showing to love the person no matter what they're going through. And, you know, it was a life lesson for all of them also, because learning to love themselves after everything that they had gone through, and love, you know, whatever gifts that were given to them also. I don't want to give away too much stuff, but it was really good. I liked it. Number 8 was Merida in dark green or teal, and I chose teal, and that one was Sanctum. And this one I didn't even get around to reading at all. So out of the 7 books that I had, I didn't finish 2. Because I finished 5 books, I'm going to drop 5 more books. BC's back to eat. The black cat. Okay, so I went ahead and drew numbers and picked my books because I knew I was going to be here at the gallery. So the first one I did random.org and I chose number 13. Number 13 was Snow White and the colors were medium blue or red, and I chose red. And red is on my Kindle. It's called A Land to Call Home by Lorraine Snelling. Yes, A Land to Call Home by Lorraine Snelling. It's book number 3 in the series. I just read book 2 in the last one. So this one is book number 3 of the Red River of the North, and then there's also a red barn in the photo. Taming the land at a great price. Will their love survive the loss? It has required long, difficult years to tame the virgin prairie of the Dakota Territory. But despite the heartache and back-breaking labor, the hardy immigrants recognize that God has been with them with every step. What has merely been a dream is now the beginning to take shape. So I'm adding that one in. Then I drew number 1. Number 1 was Anna, which the colors were dark teal or magenta, and I chose magenta. And that one is also on my Kindle called Glittering Promises by Lyssah T. Bergeron, I want to say. I can't remember. Bergeron? Lyssah Ton Bergeron. This is book number 3 of the series. I do have books 1 and 2, but I had a hard time finding something this color, so I chose book number 3, even though I hate reading them out of order. For Cora Kensington, the grand tour was to be the trip of a lifetime. She discovered that the family she never knew she had. She may have even found the love she longs for in Will. Yet her life has just become infinitely more challenging. Do I need to read the first 2? I have to read them in order. I have to read them in order. So I gotta change that Glittering Promises to Glamorous Illusions. Dark teal or magenta. Glamorous Illusions, there's a lot of pink in there. But I have to read them in order. They're ones that you have to read in order. Cora Kensington is in the first one and the third one, so I can't read third. So I gotta change this. I'm just gonna put this in the place of the other one. Glamorous Illusions instead of Glittering Promises. So this one, the first book in the Grand Tour series, Glamorous Illusions will take readers on a pilgrimage through Europe and straight into the soul. The summer of 1913 and Cora Kensington's life on the family farm has taken a dark turn. After burying the only father she's ever known, she lost her bow in a tragic accident. Then a stranger comes to call, and in a fatal afternoon, Cora discovers that her birth father is Copper King, a man who invites her to tour Europe with her new family. As she travels from England to France, Cora faces the hardships and as well as the privileges of assuming the family name. And though now she knows more about her true identity, she soon discovers the journey is only beginning. Well, now we know that Will is a love interest in book 3. Okay, that's all right. I'm changing it up. So then I drew number 8, and number 8 was Merida, and there was teal or dirt green, and I already used teal. This one right here, Bringing Maggie Home. This one is by Kim Vogel Sawyer. This is a advanced reader copy, because I need to read this and do my review before the book launches. So I was kind of hoping I'd pick a color that had something color scheme, and dark green was it, so it worked out really good. This one, Hazel D. Ford, is a woman haunted by her past. While berry picking in a blackberry thicket in 1943, 10-year-old Hazel momentarily turned her back on her 3-year-old sister Maggie, and the young girl disappeared. Almost 70 years later, the mystery remains unsolved, and the secret guilt Hazel carries has alienated her from her daughter Diane, who can't understand her mother's overprotectiveness and near paranoia. Like I said, I have to pre-read that. Then I chose number 4. Number 4 is Belle, and the colors are yellow or white, and I chose white. White, I need to have a nonfiction pick since I read my other 2 nonfictions, and I chose The Power of a Praying Wife. So it has the white flower. Today's challenges and pressures can make fulfilling marriage seem like an impossible dream. I can't read. Yet God delights in doing the impossible. If only we would ask. Stormy O'Meriton shares how God has strengthened her own marriage since she began to pray for her husband concerning key areas of his life, including spiritual walk, his emotions, roles as a father, leader, and decision maker, his security in work and finances, his health and physical protection, and his faith and future. So, and the last one I chose was number 5, which is Cinderella again, and the choices were light blue, I already did that, and dark brown. So dark brown came out, and this is what I picked. The Artist's Daughter by Alexander Kuykendall. I don't know how to pronounce that. When Alexandria it's a memoir. Okay. It's not a fiction. When Alexandra Kuykendall became a mother, she knew she had to go back to the beginning, to that hot July afternoon in Barcelona when she met her father for the first time. The only daughter of a single world-traveling mother and absent artist father, Alexandria embarks on a soul-searching trip into the past to make sense of the layers of her life, both the memories she experienced and the ones she wished for. The Artist's Daughter will take you on a journey of discovering through childhood, marriage, and motherhood, through short vignettes of full and both wonder and heartache. Alexandra seeks the answers of 3 life-defining questions. Am I lovable? Am I loved? And am I loving? Okay, I really didn't know what I was getting into when I grabbed this book, so I guess we'll see how it goes. I prefer my historical fiction. So, yes. So that is my last book that I picked. Thank you guys for joining me so far. So far I've read how many books? I've read 9 books. And I have 7 to, I've read 9 books already. So thank you guys for joining me in this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.